Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Offering our salutations to Ramana, who shines as the self in all beings, we begin today's satsang with a prayer followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam. Dakshinamurti Sarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Ramanacharya Paryanta Vande Guru Parampara Vande Guru Parampara Vande Guru Parampara Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् एकमक्षरं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथं हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जतावा पवनचलनरोधा आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम् देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्ततभावशुक्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिय दृष्टात्मनिष्ठात्मना सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं. Namo Ramana. We continue the satsang with the chanting of a few verses from Upadesa Saram by Kumari Uma Sripathy.
नमो रमण इदमहं पदाभिक्यमन्महम् अहमिलीनकेऽप्यलयसत्तया विग्रहेन्द्रिया प्राणदीतमा नाहमेकसत्तज्जडं यसत् सत्त्वभासिका चित्क्ववेतरा सत्तया हि चित्तया ह्यहम् ईश जीवयोर्वेषधीभिदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् वेषहानत स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपत आत्मसंस्थिति स्वात्मदर्शनम् आत्मनिर्द्वयादात्मनिष्ठता ज्ञानवर्जिता अज्ञानहीन चेत् ज्ञानमस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपम् इत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवा अपूर्णचित्सुखम् बन्धमुक्त्यतीतं परं सुखम् विन्दति जीवस्तु दैविक अहमपेतकम् निजविभानकम् महदिदं तपो रमणवागियम् नमो रमण
Namo Ramana. In this part of the satsang, we have a few Ramananjali Sangeetam offerings. We have the first offering by Srimati V.Radha, that will be followed by an offering by Dr. Pratibha Sundaresh.
Namo Ramana to all. Today I will be singing a song written by Sri Meenakshi Sundaram. The Kannada translation is by Sri R.N.J. Gopal, and the music is by Sri Vijay Bhaskar. ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ತಂದೆಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದೈವವಾಗಿ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ತಂದೆಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದೈವವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ಸುಂದರನಾಯಿನಿಯಳಾದ ಸುಂದರಿಯಾತನಯ ಸುಂದರನೇ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಸ್ತುತಿಸಿದೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಪಾದವ ಸುಂದರನಾಯಿನಿಯಳಾದ ಸುಂದರಿಯಾತನಯ ಸುಂದರನೇ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಸ್ತುತಿಸಿದೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಪಾದವ ನಾನೆಂಬುದರರ್ಥವು ಏನೆಂಬ ಸತ್ಯವ ನಾನೆಂಬುದರರ್ಥವು ಏನೆಂಬ ಸತ್ಯವ ಕಾನರಿತ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯೇ ರಮಣ ಸಾಟಿಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲದವ ಸಾಟಿಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲದವ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ತಂದೆಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದೈವವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ಮರಣಾದಿ ಬಂಧಗಳ ನಾಶಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಕರುಣಿಸುನಿ ಚರಣಾಂಬುಜ ವೇಗತಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಅಧಿಪತಿ ಮರಣಾದಿ ಬಂಧಗಳ ನಾಶಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಕರುಣಿಸುನಿ ಚರಣಾಂಬುಜ ವೇಗತಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಅಧಿಪತಿ ಮೌನಿ ಮಹಾಮುನಿನಾಥ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಪದ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಮೌನಿ ಮಹಾಮುನಿನಾಥ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಪದ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಸುಂದರ ಗೀತಾ ರಮಣ ನಿಜ ಜ್ಞಾನದಾತ ನಿಜ ಜ್ಞಾನದಾತ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ತಂದೆಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದೈವವಾಗಿ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ತಂದೆಯಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದೈವವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ರಮಣ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬಾಳ ಸಂಗಾತಿ ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. This is a composition of Bhagwan Ramana. It's from Arunachala Navamani Malai, the necklet of 9 gems on Arunachala, verse 3. The Hindi translation is by Sri Shaila and the English translation Professor K. Swaminathan, and music by Vijay Bhaskar. Bhagwan says, those who take refuge at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord of Mercy, presiding over Arunachala, their minds freed of attachment to riches, lands, and relatives, and to caste and the like, and ever made purer by seeking your benign grace, these rid themselves of the misery of the darkness, and in the steady light of your ever protecting grace, which shines like the golden rays of the rising sun, they abide happy, sunk in the ocean of bliss. कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, अरुणाचल शिव चरण भरोसा डर से हमें होवे चोटी, अरुणाचल शिव चरण भरोसा डर से हमें होवे चोटी, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, अरुणाचल शिव चरण भरोसा डर से हमें होवे चोटी, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, जीवन का अंधेरा होवे दूर नया उजाला हो भरपूर, जीवन का अंधेरा होवे दूर नया उजाला हो भरपूर, सच्चिदानंद शरधि में डूबे, सच्चिदानंद शरधि में डूबे, मुक्ति के पथ हो साक्षात्कार, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, अरुणाचल शिव चरण भरोसा डर से हमें होवे चोटी, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी। अरिषट वर्ग के अंधकार में, पंचेंद्रियों के पाताल में, अरिषट वर्ग के अंधकार में, पंचेंद्रियों के पाताल में, डूबे हुओं को आए बचाने, डूबे हुओं को आए बचाने, हालाहल पी कर भी तुमने कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, अरुणाचल शिव चरण भरोसा डर से हमें होवे चोटी, कंचन कामिनी मट्टी झट खोल देवो आंख की पट्टी, अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, आनंद रूपी आत्म प्रदीप अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, आनंद रूपी आत्म प्रदीप अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, आनंद रूपी आत्म प्रदीप अरुणाचल शिव में हूँ शरण, शिव में हूँ शरण, शिव में हूँ शरण, शिव में हूँ शरण। नमो रमण।
Namo Ramana. After those beautiful offerings of Ramananjali Sangeetam, we move on to the self-enquiry practice part of the satsang. I request Sri Dileep Simha ji to guide us through this self-enquiry practice session.
Namo Ramana. ध्यायेत् शारदचन्द्रसुन्दरमुखम् ताम्रारविन्देक्षणम् भक्ताभीष्टवराभयप्रदकरम् कौपीनमात्रोज्ज्वलम् स्वात्मानन्दरसानुभूतिविवशम् सर्वानवद्याङ्गकम् श्रीमन्तं श्रीरमणेश्वरं गुरुवरम् योगासनाध्यासितम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामच्युतव पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। Namo Ramana. We will commence the Atma Vichara by listening and meditating on Bhagavan's Upadesham. I'll be reading his Upadesham from the book Guruvachaka Kovai, from the chapter Meditation on the Truth. The topic is the creations of Jiva and Ishvara. Sorry, the topic is rejecting as not this. Verse 671. I am not the fleshy body, the prana, the vital breath that animates the body, the organs of action and cognition, nor the mind, the intellect and the ego. Nor am I the form of nescience, sleep, that is filled with dense latent vasanas, and which is devoid of action and objects of perception. Neti Neti is being explained here. I am not the fleshy body, nor the prana, the vital breath that animates the body, nor the organs of actions and cognition, nor the mind, nor the intellect and the ego. Nor am I the form of nescience, sleep, that is filled with dense latent vasanas, and which is devoid of action and objects of perception. This is the way to go about in the Neti Neti Marga. To see all objects of perception, whether it is the body, whether it is the organs, whether it is the prana, whether it is the thoughts, the intellectual ideas, or the sense of knowership or doership, a sense of attachment to things as ego, or a dense darkness of ignorance, which we often, even in meditation, say, I see a sense of blank. All of that is not me, not me. Whatever is objective, whatever is appearing as object to me, can't be me. It is just an object to me. So who am I then? So the Neti Neti Marga goes about removing all the objects as not me, not me, not me. The who am I takes us to that which recognizes all of this, that which enables us to see all of this and the absence of all of this, that which is always present, always aware. It takes us to the source, the iti marga, we can say. This is it. This is what I am. So the neti meti marga also brings about it. Why it is more helpful is because we have a very strong sense of objective way of knowing things. All of our knowing or learning in this world has been very objective. We went to the school without having any clear idea about alphabets, and alphabets were written, and the words starting with those alphabets were repeated. The images were shown to recognize that A for ant, and we started to relate all of this objective and started to learn from that objective way of knowing. And therefore, we have developed a very strong sense of learning by objective knowing. And that's why even when we come to the spiritual path, we skip on the obvious and keep looking for the truth outside in books, in the Vedantic reading, in satsangs and everything. We keep looking for it outside. We feel that somebody will throw some idea or some light and we will recognize the truth. And we forget to see, even when we are looking so for those ideas, for that light, what is helping us to look for? What is that which is within me, which enables me to know? That we completely take it for granted. So the neti neti marga, or the rejecting as not this, is largely helpful because we have developed a strong sense of looking outward. And Bhagavan goes on to say here, even in deep sleep, we merge into a dense thickness of vasanas. That means we are still objectively looking for that, but it is so dense collection of so many objects in the subconscious that we still look at it and forget everything. So there is still an outward way of looking for things. But we forget the obvious, the natural thing. What is that which enables me to look? What is that which enables me to feel I am? That we take it for granted. So here, the neti neti marga is explained. And when all the objects are, no objects are held on to, when no objects are given any attention, then that which is will be seen to be naturally present. In the who am I, we go on every time any objective things appear, we question to whom is this, who am I, therefore taking the outgoing attention back to the source, that which enables us to see, that which enables us to be. We go back to that ever-present, unaltered truth, which is there in the waking, which is there in the dream, which is there in the sleep, which we have taken it for granted. We consciously turn the attention onto that which is. And by repeatedly doing so, there comes about a beautiful clarity in the sadhaka that one is not dependent on any objective things. One is ever-present natural truth. And it is effortlessly the true state of everyone, whether one is in a sadhana or when one is already a siddha who has known, recognized, realized it. It is common for all. It is common for the animals. It is common for the plants, for everything alike. That alone is, that truth alone is. Like gold is in all ornaments. We may call the ornaments differently. We may call it bangle, we may call it earring, necklace, and so on and so forth. but it is all nothing but gold. In a similar way, the self is all that is. It is the one, because of the existence of the self, all other things exist. It is because of the self which has the capability to know. We know all things, whether it is subtle or gross. Therefore, all experience, all things are made only possible because of the self. The self alone is. So this is a direct approach. By inquiring, whom is this, who am I? Both takes us to that one truth, because there is nothing apart from the truth. So with Bhagwan's immense grace, with which alone we have come to this most direct path, for the next 10 minutes, let us practice Atma Vichara. In Atma Vichara, no matter how many thoughts come, no matter what is the nature of those thoughts, whether it is a good thought, a bad thought, or even a spiritual thought, since it's all an object to the one who is seeing it, we inquire, to whom is this? And the answer will be, for me, it can't be for somebody else. And then we don't stop there. After recognizing it is for me, then who am I is the next question that we put ourselves. What do I really refer to as I within me? What is this I? When I look for the I, the source of the I, the attention goes deeper onto the truth itself. That is the grace of the Master. We become aware, or we become one with the truth. And with repeated practice, one becomes clear that the mind starts to get back to the source, and it loses its old habit of getting pulled or having a strong urge towards objective things. It becomes more and more comfortable in the truth that which is naturally present. Bhagwan's immense grace, let us practice Atma Vichara for the next 10 minutes. Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana. Thank you all.
Ramana. In this part of the satsang, we were meditating on the verses written by Bhagavan. We are meditating on the verses from Navamanimalai, and they have been set to beautiful ragas. The Tamil original has been set to Tilang Raga and Kanda Jati Triputatala by Srimati Sulochana Rajan. அருணாச்சலத்திலுரு கருணாகர பரமன்னருணாரவிந்த பதமே அருணாச்சலத்திலுரு கருணாகர பரமன்னருணாரவிந்த பதமே பொருள் நாடு சுற்று மூலமோடு வருணாதி பற்றியுளம் அருணாடலற்ற நிதமும் பொருள் நாடு சுற்றுமொழு வருணாதி பற்றியுளம் அருணாடலற்ற நிதமும் தெருநாடுளத்தினினல் அருணாடி அருள் நாடி நிற்குமவர் இருள் நாசமுற்று புவிமேல் தெருநாடு லத்தினினல் அருள் நாடி நிற்குமவர் இருள் நாசமுற்று புவிமேல் அருணாருணக்கதிரின் அருணாளு முற்று சுக வருணாலயத்தில் இழிவார் அருணாச்சலத்திலுரு கருணாகர பரமன் பெருள்நா அருணாரவிந்த பதமே. Basically, G. Kameshwar Ji says this talks about that how a matured seeker is, how a seeker who is serious is. Such a person who will hold on to that lotus-like feet of Arunachala in his heart, and he will not hold on to anything else like the property or the goods or the land or even the relationships, and he will not even mind about the Varunadi, that is the caste, creed and other differences. Instead, he will only seek the Arul Nadu, that is, he will only seek the truth alone. Such a one, the darkness of ignorance is destroyed, and he will attain the ocean of bliss. When here and now, when he is here in this bhumi, in this very life, he can attain that, and he will rejoice, revel in that ocean of bliss. And this ocean of bliss is compared to the light of the sun, the Kadir. Kadir means the sun, and that light will destroy all the darkness. So the talking about the darkness being removed, in the Kannada translation of this, we have Honnu Hennu Mannu Ida Toresuva Tereyuta Kannu. That is the Teresuva Toreyuta Kannu. The Hindi translation of the same was sung by Pratibha ji in today's satsang, where he opens the eyes to the light which is ever present. We are closing our eyes and telling there is darkness of ignorance. And Arunachala, what does he do? He makes us lose that holding that we are holding on to Hennu, Punnu, and Mannu, and He will bless us by opening our eyes to that all enveloping light. ಹೊನ್ನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದ ತೋರಿಸುವ ತೊರೆಯುತ ಕಣ್ಣು ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಚರಣವನಂಬಲು ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಚರಣವನಂಬಲು ಭಯ ನಮಗಾವುದು ಇನ್ನು ಹೊನ್ನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದ ತೋರಿಸುವ ತೆರೆಯುತ ಕಣ್ಣು ಬಾಳಲಿ ಇರುಳು ತೊರೆಯುವುದು ಬಾಳಲಿ ಇರುಳು ತೊರೆಯುವುದು ನೂತನ ಬೆಳಕು ತೋರುವುದು. Again here there is mention of that light which destroys the darkness of irulu. Irulu means night, and it gives a new light. ನೂತನ ಬೆಳಕು ತೋರುವುದು ಬಾಳಲಿ ಇರುಳು ತೊರೆಯುವುದು ನೂತನ ಬೆಳಕು ತೋರುವುದು ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಕಡಲಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಕಡಲಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಮಾರ್ಗವ ತೋರುವುದು ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಮಾರ್ಗವ ತೋರುವುದು ಹೊನ್ನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದ ತೋರಿಸುವ ತೆರೆಯುತ ಕಣ್ಣು ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಚರಣವನಂಬಲು ಭಯ ನಮಗಾವುದು ಇನ್ನು ಹೊನ್ನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದ ತೋರಿಸುವ ತೆರೆಯುತ ಕಣ್ಣು. True devotee, the true seeker is the one who has dropped these attachment to all these outside objects. This reminds of an example which the great ones give. Imagine there is a monkey and there is a jar kept, a glass jar where it has groundnuts in it. And what does the monkey do? The monkey will put its hand inside the jar, the mouth of jar, to pick up the groundnuts. But it is not able to remove its hands because the fist would have become bigger than the mouth of the jar. So it is not able to take out the hand from the jar. And what is the solution for this? Only when the monkey understands, I don't want these groundnuts. I don't want this attachment to this worldly desires. When it drops it, then alone it can take out its hand outside from the jar. But what will the monkey do? The monkey strike again and again to take out its hand with these attachments. And it is impossible for the monkey to take out its hand holding on to these attachments. So Bhagavan is telling the true devotee should be able to drop these attachment to the worldly pleasures, including the properties or goods, or even even if you are ruling a kingdom, you should be ready to drop it. And even your attachment to your own family, your kin, and your dear ones, you should be able to drop it, and you should seek the God alone. When you do that, then you are the right devotee who can enjoy the ocean of bliss, the limited ocean of bliss. And for such devotees, the darkness is destroyed and they will revel in the light of Arunachala Shiva. Bhagavan, when he was very, very young at Madurai, he got hold of one book called Periya Puranam. Bhagavan says, as a young boy, I did not have any inclination to spirituality. So I had not learned any Vedanta or anything else. The only thing that I read was the Bible, which was taught as a part of the syllabus in school. And the other spiritual book that I had read was a book called Periya Puranam, which has the stories of 63 Shaivate saints who are called Nayanmars. And each one of these Shaivate saints are great devotees, inspired Bhagavan. And Bhagavan used to have tears in his eyes and he used to wonder, when will Shiva appear in that blazing form and accept me and make me one with him. So he was waiting for this day, and he was inspired by these stories, and he was in awe of these devotees. So talking about holding on to the patru, that is of the porul, that is of property. There is a story of one great Nayanmar called Adipattan. Adipattan can be translated as Adi Bhaktan. The bh becomes pa in Tamil. So the Adipattan, he was a fisherman. His sadhana was very, very simple. He used to go and fish. And the best fish that he has got, a big fish, that he will offer it back to the river as an offering to Shiva. That was his simple sadhana. He was doing this without any break. Every day he used to do this offering to Shiva. And for many, many days, there was this famine in the ocean, and he was not getting any fishes. One day he has only had got one fish, and without a second thought, he offered it to Shiva. My promise is that I should give one fish back to Shiva, and I have got this. I will give it to him. So many, many days only he used to go, he was getting only one fish, and he was offering that fish also to the river or to the ocean, and go back home hungry without any fish or any money to run his family. So this went on for many, many days. Although he was very, very hungry and his family was suffering, this was his sadhana. He had vowed that he will give the fish to the Lord. One day, to his surprise, when he caught, this time also he had got only one fish, but this time it was the golden fish with all these gems studded on it. And Adipatan would have taken that fish, and if he had sold it, he would have got lot of money, and that money would have taken care of him, not only him, but his future generations also. But even without a second thought, he did not have any attachment to the property. He understood that the, the joy can only be attained by holding on to the supreme, but not by holding on to any property, how much ever wealthy it may be. So he dropped that golden fish also into the water, and pleased by his sadhana, Shiva appeared. And how does he appear? He appeared as a blazing light, and he embraced him and take him to his state. They say he took him to Kailasa, or he took him back to himself. So, such is the story of Adipat. Talking about the Desham, Nadu. Nadu is this we hold on to our land. This is my land. And there's so much of fight which happens in between the neighbors, like, oh, you have intruded into my space, you have intruded into my space, and you have spoiled my part, and your the compound is little more bigger than it was has to be, or little smaller than it had to be. So all these fight are there with people who own the land. But we hear of one Raja called Mai Purul Nayanar. He was a king, and he had great respect to Shiva devotees. Not only true Shiva devotees, even if somebody is wearing a vesham like a Shiva devotee, he used to show his respect. I was hearing one story of the Chera Maharaja. Chera Maharaja, he was coming on a elephant, and he saw one person who was looking like as if he had wore bhasma all over his body. He was looking like a Shiva Bhakta. So he got down the elephant and went and did Sashtanga Namaskaram to that man who was looking all white patches all over his body. And the devotee told, that person told, so, oh Raja, why are you doing namaste to me? And the Raja told, you look like you have smeared yourself with the vibhuti. So I felt you are a Shivanadiyar, so I wanted to prostrate before you. And the person told, so Raja, Maharaja, I'm really sorry, I am not any Shiva Bhakta. I work in the what is the chalk factory, or I do some painting work. So while painting, all these white chalk fall on my body. So this is only the white chalk. It is not vibhuti. But what did Maharaja says? That's okay. You look like a devotee. That reminds me of Shiva. So again, he prostrated before that simple man who was not even a devotee. So such were the great devotees of Shiva. And this Maharaja, he was leading a life of great bhakti towards Shiva, and he used to respect all the Shiva devotees who used to come to his kingdom. So knowing this weakness, I don't know whether it is weakness or whether it is strength. So knowing this, the neighboring Raja wanted to loot the kingdom. He wanted to capture the kingdom. So he came in the form of a Shiva Bhakta, wearing the vibhuti and dressing up like a Shiva Bhakta, and with the Rudrakshi in his on his chest. And he came to the kingdom by hiding one dagger inside his garments. And when he came, and when Mayapur Maharaja welcomed him into the palace, made him sit on a very, very beautiful throne, and he served him by washing his feet and giving him all this one. When he was offering his respect, this uh, the neighboring king who had come in the form, in the disguise of this Shiva Bhakta, he opened up his dagger and he put the dagger in the back of that king and was killing that king. And even at that moment, when the guard came inside and he wanted to attack this neighboring king who had come in that disguise of Shiva Bhakta, the Mai Purul, the Maharaja told, don't worry, he has come as Shiva Bhakta. I will be happy that a Shiva Bhakta has taken my prana. So please take him safely to the outside the kingdom, because if people get to know that he is the neighboring Maharaja, they may attack him and cause him harm. So take him safely outside of this kingdom and leave him and come back. So that was the instruction given to the guard, and pleased by this devotion, who did not even care about his own kingdom. Shiva Bhaktas were more important. Not only true Shiva Bhaktas who act as if they are Shiva Bhaktas also are great. So now we keep judging, our mind keeps judging, oh, whether he is a true Shiva Bhakta or is he not, whether he's only acting or he's not. Bhagavan says, don't even think about anything. Whatever reminds you of Shiva Bhakti, those who seem to be Shiva Bhaktas also show your respect. That is the only thing that you need to do. And for such ones, the God is there. He will come and protect. So Shiva appeared in this glorious form. It is usually described that Shiva appeared on Nandi with Shiva and Parvati together as a blazing light. And he took that Mayapurul Maharaja to his abode, to that abode which is full of bliss, to that abode where there is only light. The last story which I want to share is the story for the relatives. There was one devotee, Nayanmar, called Kotpuli Nayanar. Kotpuli Nayanar was a commander, and he was ruling one part of the kingdom, one village. And he was a great commander, very, very strong and courageous commander. And he had made lot of money, and all the money he had saved and brought grains, and one part of the grain was for Shiva Bhaktas and the other part was for his family. And his family was a big family. It had like hundreds of people, all it's a joint family where all are living together. And he was invited to come and join for the war which was happening in the kingdom. And he told his family, okay, look at this. This part of the grains that I have saved is for you. You use this. But the other part is there that is for Shiva Bhaktas. So who all good to give that to whoever Shiva Bhaktas come asking for help. You serve them with that part of the grains. So lot of grains, a huge go down of grains was saved. And what happened when the Kotpuli Nayanar had gone on the war, the famine came. And what did the family do? The family had finished their part of the grains, so they started using the part of the grain that was saved for the Shiva Bhaktas. And all the Shiva Bhaktas there without any food, they all became weak and few of them lost their lives. And when Kotpuli Nayanar came back to the kingdom, he saw all the Shiva Bhaktas had become thin and few of them had lost their lives. But when he came to see his family, all his family, all the members were fine. And then he asked, "What did you do? Why didn't you serve the Shiva Bhaktas with this, the grains that was dedicated to them?" The devotees, the family members told, "Oh, the famine came and we ourselves did not have any grains to eat. So we took the grains from that which was saved for Shiva Bhaktas and we ate it." And the Kotpuli Nayanar became so furious. He told, "You have taken that Shiva Sut, that is the wealth that belongs to Shiva and Shiva devotees. You have taken it. And I will not want you to be alive." So he started with took out his sword and started chopping all the people in his family one by one, chopping everybody's head, and all the family members were destroyed, and there was one little newborn baby. And Shiva Bhaktas came and told, "Oh, Kotpuli Nayanar, why are you killing this small baby? This baby has not even eaten a grain of rice." But he told, "No, this baby has not eaten the grain of rice, but it has drink the milk from those who have eaten the Shiva Sut, that who have eaten from the food that was dedicated for Shiva Bhaktas. So I am going to kill this newborn baby too." So when he took up his sword, Shiva appeared. And Shiva appeared and said, "I am pleased by your devotion, where you only are seeking devotion. You're only seeking Shiva alone, and you didn't even mind the mistakes. I mean, you did not even forgive the mistakes done by your own family." And such are the Shiva Bhaktas who were accepted by Shiva. And here Bhagavan says, those who have dropped their attachment to these Patri, that is to their Patri to Porul, Nade and Sutri, for them their ignorance is destroyed by the blazing Kadiroli, that is the sun-like rays, and which is described that sunlight is not sharp and hot, but they are like the newborn red sun, like that. These rays engulf you and they embrace you and take you to that land of bliss, that state of limitless bliss, says Bhagavan. And Bhagavan was inspired by these great nine Mars described in Periya Puranam, and he became one among them and showing us the path that it is possible. These are not stories of 63 nine Mars written by some Kavi who only imagined them. Although it looks very, very exaggerated, but it is possible for devotees to have such. Where are the relatives? Where are this porol that we are holding on to? We are holding on only in our mind. So Ramana says, if you are able to drop these thoughts of the porul, nada and shutre by inquiring for whom are these thoughts? With that sword of self-enquiry, if you are able to cut all the bonds, then one can rejoice in that ocean of bliss, says Bhagavan. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We continue the satsang with the meditation on Ramana Ashtottara, which will be done by Dr. Sarada.
Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as a self in all beings. By the immense grace of the self, manifest as Ramana, we are meditating on the litany of 108 names, the Ramana Ashtottara Shatanamavadi. And we were meditating on the string of names, which was Dakshinasya Nibhaya Namaha, Dakshinabhimukhaya Namaha, Om Swaraje Namaha, Om Harshaye Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha. Maharshaye Namaha was the name that we were meditating on. And these names have been given to Bhagavan by Ganapati Muni on getting the greatest of revelations from Bhagavan about Atma Sadhana. So this revelation, the one who gives a revelation is a Maharshi, because the one who sees the revelation can reveal to another the same truth. So, a Maharshi is a seer of truth, a Rishi is a seer of truth. And this truth was seen by Bhagavan intuitively as a boy of 16. So, in real truth, the name seer, the name Rishi applies to Bhagavan because he saw the truth himself. He saw the truth by his own inquiry, which led him to the intuitive and immediate revelation of the truth. Because Bhagavan says about his enlightenment, he describes it, and then in a place he says it could have taken about half an hour, he says to a devotee. And then he says, no, there was no time, no element of time at all over there. It came in a flash. So that is a revelation. We find the great rishis, many of them would have intuited mantras for us, like the Vishwamitra Rishi has intuited the Gayatri mantra for us. Now, what is the intuited mantra given to us by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is the word Arunachala itself. That is the mantra which was shining within him spontaneously, even from his infancy. In fact, he says, Arivaru Siruvayadadu Mudal Arunachalam Mihapperidhanalanga, Arivinilanga. So, Arivaru Siruvayadadu Mudal. Even before I knew anything, I had knowledge of anything at all, I knew that Arunachala is something glorious. So, this is the absolute spontaneous intuition. So we can call him the Maharshi because of that. It is not even at the end of the sadhana that he had this revelation, but he had this revelation even from his birth, or rather even before his birth, one may say, because he says, Arivaru Siruvayadu. Because there is no, at the time when there was no knowledge of anything at all, that awareness of Arunachala, the name Arunachala was shining in his heart. And this name is called a mantra by Guhai Namah Shivaya. He says, Aindelthai Odi Mada Nenjame. Adi Arunagiri Annalar Aindelthai Odi Mada Nenjame. Because if you chant this name, all good will come unto you, he sings. So this is the name Arunachala, which is the mantra dhrik, we say, of rishis. We say they have revealed the glory of mantras. So this was the glory of Arunachala. There is another mantra which Bhagavan has revealed to the world, and that is the Aham, the Aham Spurana, the I mantra. This is sung of by Sadhuvam Swami in almost every kriti of his. Aham, that he says, Natamidum. Aham and Natamidum. That is the one which is dancing as I. And Bhagavan also says that it is dancing as I in his Arunachala Ashtakam. There he calls it the heart. It is dancing as the heart, he says. Mandraham achalama nadamedum aruna malayenum yelay arum arulodi kadale. So he says it is dancing as the dance of stillness. But in the famous Ekashloki, he says, Aham iti sakshat atma rupena bhati. It shines as I, and it is also a throb. So it is called the dance. That is the mantra which Bhagavan is revealing to us as the Maharshi. And the new path breaking revelation which he gave to the Muni. Hello? The new path breaking revelation which he gave to the Muni was the meaning of tapasya. He gave him a new definition of the word tapas. He said, find out the source of the I thought and merge there. That is tapas. So again, whenever something new is revealed, although it is established completely in the Vedic tradition, still it is path breaking, the revelation. It is new. It is seen to be appropriate to the time, the way in which it is revealed. Similarly, Bhagavan's method of self-enquiry is the essence of the Vedas, says Murugan Swami, essence of the Vedas made simple and revealed in that new simple format. So that is why he is called Maharshi. The Vichara, Koham Vichara, is available in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, and we find even in Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada talking about the Koham Vichara, Kastvam Koham Kutayataha. So the Koham Vichara, who am I, that inquiry, is a part of the traditional Atma Jnana path shown and revealed by the sages of India. So in that sense, as he teaches that which the lineage of great sages have taught, also we may say Bhagavan is the Maharshi, is to be hailed as Maharshi. At the same time, the new revelation, the new light which is thrown on this very path, to make it into an actual practice, is what Bhagavan Ramana, Maharshi Ramana, has done for us. And the Nama Maharshi, if you take the Nama Ramana, it is of course the sweet one, the one who is the very self. But the name itself, what does it carry to a lay person? What does the name Ramana carry to it? It may be just another name. However, the word Maharshi denotes to the whole world that here is one who can guide us on the path to self-knowledge. Therefore, we find Muni has christened Bhagavan not only as Ramana, but Ramana Maharshi, the greatest of seers. So if you are seeking self-knowledge, if you are seeking clarification regarding anything on the path of self-knowledge, regarding the practice of self-enquiry, turn to Ramana is the indication of this Nama given by Vishwanatha Swami, given by Ganapati Muni, and included by Vishwanatha Swami in this placement of the Ramana Ashtotram, because he has talked about Swaraje Namaha. He has talked about Dakshinasya Nibhaya Namaha. He is like Dakshinamurti in his silence. He is verily Dakshinamurti, and he is the ruler of the kingdom of the self. Swaraje Namaha. But not only does he rule the kingdom of the self, he shares the glory of that kingdom with one and all through the path of self-enquiry. So he is Maharshaye Namaha, says Vishwanatha Swami, hailing him as such. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We have the chanting of Arunachala Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V.Radha.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. வீடு விட்டீர் துள விடுப்புக்கு பயவின் வீடு காட்டினையருள் அருணாச்சலம். வெளிவிட்டேன் உன் செயல் வெறுத்திடாதுன் அருள் வெளிவிட்டென்னை கா அருணாச்சலாம். வேதாந்தத்தே வேரற விளங்கும் வேத பொருள் அருள் அருணாச்சலாம். வைதலை வாட்டா வைத்தருள் கொடியா வைத்தென்னை விடாதருள் அருணாச்சலாம். அம்புவில்லால் இப்போல் அன்புரு உன்னில் என்னை அன்பா கரைத்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். அருணை என்றென்னையான் அருள் கண்ணிப்பட்டேன் உன் அருள் வலை தப்புமோ அருணாச்சலம். சிந்தித்தருள்பட சிலந்தி போல் கட்டி சிறையீட்டுண்டெனை அருணாச்சலம். அன்போடு நாமம் கேள் அன்பர்த்தம் அன்பரு கண்பனாயிட அருள் அருணாச்சலம். என் போலும் தீனரை இன்புற காத்து நீ என்னாலும் வாழ்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். என்புரு கண்பர்த்தம் என் சொற்கொள் செவியும் என் பொன்மொழி கொள அருள் அருணாச்சலம். ஒருமயாம் பூதர புன் சொல்லை நன் சொல்ல பொறுத்தருள் இஷ்டம் பின் அருணாச்சலம். மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ 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 அருணாச்சலம். அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலம். அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ ரமணா.
Namo Ramana. Namo Ramana. We conclude today's satsang with Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan. The puja will be performed by Sri Dileep Simha ji in his house altar, and the chanting of the Ashtottara will be done by Kumari Uma Sripathy, and the Arati song will be rendered by Pratibha Sundaresh.
भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितम् श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावली अपार सच्चित्सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मि मात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। ॐ महासेन महोंशेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्ड संविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्दितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्री भूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीय सुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसम्भ्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ पुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्य निभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः। ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलहृद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्चान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात् नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युत निज प्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिक महातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्री अष्टोत्तर शतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रह सुप्रवाह विवशस्थादात्म्यभावं गतः निर्निष्ठस्वगभीर नित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीव हित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತೆಯೇ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡು ತಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೂಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದ ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय।